3/4 of a ton. They contain different varieties of grain, different roasts, different malts, essentially building up something called the grain bill, or half of the beer's recipe. Grain bill is where you're going to get your differentiation in color, differentiation in sort of flavor and sweetness and things like that, and also the uniqueness of the beer. So Mother's Milk's grain bill is going to differ than Hurricane Kitty, Cap, and so on and so forth.
Right.
We take the grain sack, we lift it up, we hang it over this hopper. We dump that whole kernel grain in, and the hopper feeds to a mill behind this wall. The mill is 4 steel rollers with a small gap in between. Whole kernel grain is going to get shoved through that gap. It's going to crack the outer husk. The reason why you do that is because a lot of proteins, a lot of starches on the inside of the kernel that you need to expose to hot water and later to turn into sugar and later into beer. If you don't mill it, if you don't crack the grain, you get no flavor, no color, and no alcohol. So it's sort of important to get a good grist or a good crack. Comes out that chute down there, we drop this auger down, and inside of here is a rotating screw that the grain will ride on all the way into the mash tun. As it enters the mash tun, it's hydrated about 165-degree water. We're trying to balance about 150 is the perfect temperature that the starches will turn into sugar without extracting too many off flavors. Anywhere above 170 degrees, you can extract what's called tannins from the husk and get a really husky astringent flavor. Anywhere too cold, you can simply just not get good sugar conversion. So it's sort of a balance between the two. So you really want to try and maintain that 150. It sits in here for 60 minutes. Afterwards, after 60 minutes, we're going to pull off that liquid, now called wort. You call this liquid, once it has malt sugar, you call it wort, as I have like a wart on my finger. We're going to take it, hook it up to a pump, and pump it back in and rinse the grain bed through the CIP arm. That's going to create a cycle, and it's going to cause that grain bed to be actually compacted and pulled down from the actual pump. That's going to compact the grain bed and create a natural filter out of it. Because I said anything above